Just wanted to do a quick video on the powerA wireless controller. I had purchased this controller from Target. This is actually a great controller. It feels great, it works great. I don't notice any latency in the button presses. But I did come across one major issue with this controller, and it's when you hold down the ZL button and press the ZR button. The ZR button does not function. Other than that, everything else on the controller works great. It syncs right away. I even tried to remap the button here, the ZR button here, to see if that'll help, and it does the same thing. Let me show you real quick. So we'll go to test controller or test buttons, and I'll hit the ZL button and you'll see it works. I'll hit the ZR button, you'll see it works. But when I hold the ZL and press the ZR, it does not work. So let's hold the ZL, nothing. Hold the ZL, nothing. Okay, and then I'll show you the remap at the bottom here. So this is where I remapped the ZR to. So let's clear this real quick. So there's the ZR right here on the bottom. I'm pushing the bottom button here. Now when I hold the ZL button and push the ZR button remap, it still doesn't work. See? Let's try that again. Nothing. So yeah, it's a pretty major issue I'm having this, especially when you want to play games that have this as the aim and this for the fire. This does not function that way, and that's unfortunate because that's the kind of games I mostly play, other than Street Fighter, of course. Yeah, so this is the second powerA controller I had purchased and had an issue with. This is the first powerA controller. All the buttons work, everything functions properly like it's supposed to. This one feels great, but unfortunately this is the wired controller. That was one of the drawbacks to purchasing this, but at the time I really didn't care because I needed a regular controller because using the Joy-Cons is not that great, especially for Street Fighter. This is probably the worst Nintendo D-pad ever, but this actually feels great. It feels really good. All these buttons work. The ZL and ZR function even when you're firing like this. Everything functions great. But my major issue with this was, if you look right here, you can see that the paint had come off. And that was after 15 minutes of playing Street Fighter. This paint had rubbed off on the front. Not a big issue, but this was not something that I liked. And I did have the paint, like the gold paint on my thumb after, like from rubbing it. There was a little bit of gold paint on my thumb. But that's no big deal. I mean, it just came right off. But this was terrible. It just rubbed right off after 15 minutes. I literally bought this controller, brought it home, plugged it in, played Street Fighter, looked down, why is my thumb gold? Looked at the controller and noticed this part was rubbed off. powerA was nice enough to reach out to me after after a pretty long wait period, about 2 months. In fact, I waited about 2 months to get they responded right away. They said they were going to send out a replacement. I just needed to get my information, which I did, and 2 months went by and I didn't receive any replacement. The ticket was still open on their end. When I go on their website, it was not closed. They didn't provide a tracking number or anything, so I could see like where the package is. But I eventually went onto Twitter and I had posted a comment at powerA, and they finally responded the next day. I find that kind of ironic, apologizing for any delay that I had received, and unfortunately they did not get to sending out my replacement controller yet, so they will do it express shipping, and they had sent me this as a replacement. This as a replacement, And they included this controller for free because I had to wait 2 months, and they figure, you know, we'll try and help this guy out, give him an extra controller for free, which was great. I mean, I'm happy that I got the 2 controllers. I don't really care for the chrome too much. A little too much chrome for my taste, especially since I had that issue with the D-pad. I mean, who knows what's going to rub off on these, right? But other than that, I mean, the controllers, they do look great. This one is all chrome. It has the gold back, and it's, I'm assuming, a limited edition Metroid controller. And this one, which was the official replacement that they gave me, it looks pretty comfortable. I don't like the fact that the analogs are now concave versus this one, if you can see it, it's convex, which I like better. Or sorry, this is concave and this is convex. I don't really like that too much, but this works great. I like this. Reminds me of the Xbox controller. So they sent me the replacement for that, and around the same time, I was waiting for those replacements. I had emailed them about this, and they gave me a brief, like, okay, well, we'll look into it kind of thing, and that was the last I heard of it. The ticket is still open. It's been about, since I got those replacements, it's again been about a month and a half, 2 months, for any word on this one, and I had emailed them several times asking any information they can give me about this, if there's a fix that I can do, or if I have to send it in to them, but yeah, haven't heard anything. It's just kind of not getting their attention, so I figured I'd post a YouTube video. Maybe they can prevent this from happening in the future. By the way, I did have a friend that had a similar issue. It wasn't so much that it wasn't functioning at all, like mine's is. It was kind of sporadic. Like, he'd hold this down and push the button, and it would just like fire every so often. But he's not really into like shooters, so it doesn't really affect him too much. But he says when he plays in docked mode on his TV, it functions just fine. So I had tried it out, and yeah, same issue. I'll hold this down, press this, nothing. Hold this down or press this, the remap button, nothing. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. It's very unfortunate because this is a really solid controller. I do like this controller a lot. I honestly, now if I think about it, I should have just spent the extra $10 at Target and got the Black Pro controller. I know it probably would be better. But yeah, so I hope they fix this issue for future. I mean, that's 2 powerA controllers I had purchased, and both of them had issues. But yeah, so anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.